Before we begin today's story, take a moment to support the channel. If you enjoy emotional and motivational stories that inspire real change, please like this video, share it with someone who needs motivation, and subscribe to True Voice Stories. Your support helps us bring more meaningful stories to people around the world. And don't forget to leave a comment below, telling us which country you're watching from. We love connecting with our global community. Now, sit back, relax, and let's begin today's story. Life doesn't usually change in one dramatic moment. Most of the time, it changes quietly, so quietly that we don't even notice it at first. This is the story of Daniel, an ordinary man living an ordinary life, who discovered that the smallest decisions can lead to the biggest transformations. Daniel was 32 years old and lived in a small apartment in a quiet American city. Every morning, he woke up to the same alarm, drank the same coffee, and drove the same route to work. His job paid the bills, but it didn't excite him. His days felt repetitive, and his dreams felt distant, almost unrealistic. He often told himself, maybe this is just how life is. But deep inside, he knew he was meant for more. Daniel had once dreamed of building something meaningful. He wanted to make a difference, to feel proud of himself at the end of the day. But after years of setbacks, rejections, and self-doubt, those dreams slowly faded into the background. Each failure added weight to his heart. Each disappointment made him quieter. At night, Daniel lay awake staring at the ceiling, replaying every mistake he had ever made. He compared himself to others' friends who seemed more successful, more confident, more fulfilled. The comparison drained him, leaving him with one painful question: what's wrong with me? There were days when he felt invisible, days when even simple tasks felt exhausting, days when giving up seemed easier than trying again. But life has a strange way of offering lessons when we least expect them. One rainy evening, after another long and unfulfilling day, Daniel stopped at a small bookstore to escape the weather. The place was nearly empty, quiet except for the soft sound of rain tapping against the windows. As he wandered through the aisles, a worn-out book caught his attention. The title read, "Start Where You Are." Daniel smiled bitterly. Easy to say, he whispered to himself. Still, something made him pick it up. He flipped through a few pages and stopped at a line that felt uncomfortably personal. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a small step taken today. That sentence stayed with him. That night, instead of scrolling through his phone or drowning in negative thoughts, Daniel wrote down one simple goal. Just one. Wake up 30 minutes earlier. It didn't feel heroic. It didn't feel life-changing, but it felt possible. The next morning, the alarm rang, and for a moment, Daniel wanted to ignore it. But then he remembered the promise he made to himself. He got up, made his coffee, and sat quietly, watching the sunrise through his window. For the first time in a long while, he felt calm. That small win gave him something unexpected: confidence. The next day, he added another small step. He went for a 10-minute walk after work. The day after that, he wrote one page of thoughts in a notebook. No pressure, no expectations, just consistency. Weeks passed, and Daniel began to notice subtle changes. His mind felt clearer. His energy slowly returned. He wasn't suddenly successful or wealthy, but he felt stronger, more present, more in control. Of course, not every day was perfect. Some mornings, he overslept. Some evenings, he skipped the walk. Some days, self-doubt returned louder than ever. But this time, something was different. Instead of quitting, Daniel reminded himself, progress isn't about perfection. It's about continuing. One evening, Daniel applied for a new opportunity, something he would have been too afraid to try before. He didn't tell anyone. He didn't expect much. He just pressed submit and moved on. A week later, an email arrived. He didn't get the opportunity. The old Daniel would have taken this as proof that trying was pointless. But the new Daniel saw it differently. He felt disappointed. Yes, but he didn't feel defeated. He applied again and again. Each rejection hurt less than the last, because he was no longer attaching his self-worth to the outcome. He had learned that showing up was already a victory. Months went by. Daniel's routine became his foundation. Early mornings, quiet reflection, small goals, honest effort. And then one ordinary afternoon, something unexpected happened. Another email arrived. This time, it began with the words, "We're happy to move forward with you." Daniel sat in silence, reading the message over and over. His hands trembled not because he had finally succeeded, but because he realized something much deeper. He hadn't changed his life in one moment. He had changed it in hundreds of small ones. Standing by his window that evening, Daniel reflected on the journey, the doubts, the fear, the patience it took to keep going when nothing seemed to be happening. He realized that success didn't come from talent alone. It came from resilience, from choosing not to quit on the days that felt ordinary, difficult, or hopeless. Life didn't suddenly become perfect. Challenges still existed, but Daniel was no longer afraid of them. He trusted himself now, and that changed everything. If you're listening to this story and feel stuck, if you feel like your dreams are too far away, if you're tired of starting over, remember this. You don't need to see the whole path. You just need to take the next step. Small steps build confidence. Confidence builds courage, and courage builds the life you once thought was impossible. Wherever you are right now, start there. Do one small thing today that your future self will thank you for. Because the day everything changes is often the day you decide not to give up. As this story comes to an end, remember this life doesn't change when everything suddenly becomes easy. It changes when you decide not to quit, even on the days when no one sees your effort. Daniel didn't win because he was fearless. He won because he kept moving forward while he was afraid. If you're feeling stuck right now, this story is your reminder that you are not behind, you are building. Every quiet effort, every small step, every moment you choose to try again is shaping a stronger version of you. Quote, "Big changes don't begin with big moves. They begin with the courage to take one small step." So tonight, don't pressure yourself to have everything figured out. Just take one step. Tomorrow, take another. Because one day, you'll look back and realize those small steps changed everything.